question asked the other day, and it was, which gospel in the Bible is the weirdest? And I thought the answer was right that this person gave, but I thought the reason wasn't. And the gospel that I think is kind of the most out there, that is the strangest, is the Gospel of Mark. Now you might want to say, well, what about the Gospel of John? John is different. It's just completely different in the fact that he speaks in riddles more than anything else. But he doesn't act strange like he does in the Gospel of Mark. Now, people have thought the Gospel of Mark was different for a long time, and that's because of something called what is later labeled the Messianic Secret. And this was first identified by a scholar named Wrede back in 1901, and in his book called The Messianic Secret. And this Messianic Secret pointed out three things that he thought was odd. And that is, he silenced demons, he silenced his own disciples about who he was, and he wanted the people that he healed to be silenced as well. And the fourth and final thing, which is a little bit more controversial, is that he spoke in parables. But what it really comes down to is the question of, why does Jesus want to hide his identity? He keeps telling demons to be silent. Don't tell them who I am, because they always say, we know who you are, the Holy One of God. And it's this constant refrain throughout. And it seems as though the first person who noticed it was actually the author of the Gospel of Matthew, because he really doesn't see much utility in using it. He kind of takes it all out. The disciples in the Gospel of Matthew come off much more intelligent. They confess sooner. They worship Jesus a lot sooner, such as after he gets into the boat after walking on water. And that doesn't happen in the Gospel of Mark. And a lot of times you'll hear people push back, especially as of late, is that, oh, there really isn't such thing as the Messianic Secret, and there's more to it than it's just one little piece of the pie. I think it's a lot bigger than that. I think the Messianic Secret is Jesus not wanting to end up like John the Baptist. He doesn't want to be arrested. He doesn't want people to know who he is. He doesn't want to be beheaded. He wants to preach the good news. That is, until he is arrested. And then once he's arrested, he just doesn't care anymore. He knows he's going to die. And that's why when he's in his trial before the Sanhedrin, the high priest asks him, "Are you the Holy One of God?" And Jesus just straight up says, "Yes." In none of the other Gospels does Jesus just straight up say yes. It's only in Mark. And the first person, the first human that confesses that Jesus is the Son of God is the centurion at the cross. So it's almost as if, wink, wink, nod, nod, that this Messianic Secret, Jesus being cagey about his identity, has been leading up this whole time to this Roman Gentile centurion confessing Jesus's identity. The first person, the first human to do so. And so the Gospel of Mark has been leading up to this recognition scene. And that is why the Gospel of Mark is so weird, because if you don't realize everything is building up to that final confession, not just that Jesus is the Messiah, like Peter says, but that he is the Son of God, like the centurion says. All right, I'll see you in the next one.